To jump on in. So again, my name is Lee Kendrick. I'm the founder of CreditUturn, and we've created this awesome mobile app and service for you, and that's my passion. That's my why. So a lot of people will always tell me that, hey, this seems like it's your ministry, and to a large degree it is in a non-religious sort of way. So basically, I just believe that what's contained in your credit report and what's contained in your credit scores is not an indicator of what's in your heart or what's in your wallet or what your true character's like. And credit reports, the way that they currently operate, are the same way that they were 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago to a large degree, where you get penalized for a very long period of time if you do have something happen to you, and many times it's beyond your control. Things like a divorce or a job loss or a medical emergency or a car accident or any other number of reasons. And I think that the credit system, while it's phenomenal, and without the credit system, we wouldn't be able to go get the cars that we need or the houses that we need or get access to money or to be able to go borrow money to start a business. So it definitely serves a purpose, but my why is not only providing you a phenomenal product where you can control the process and automate it so that you're not procrastinating, so you aren't having to learn credit inside out, and also not having to pay any credit repair fees. And then another great thing, and we're going to jump into the heart of the matter here in a moment, is helping you avoid scams. There are a lot of scams that are out there in the credit industry and credit repair industry, and we're going to talk about a few of those here in a little bit more detail here in a moment. Before we do that, just to make sure that I don't forget this later on, I always want to thank our awesome partners. We have some phenomenal partners, and tonight specifically, I want to say thank you to our automotive dealership partners. They see a problem in the automotive industry, they see a problem in their own dealerships, and they see that they really need to be able to provide more value. They just weren't sure how, short of giving you phenomenal presentations, phenomenal products, providing you with great service, parts, a better experience in the dealership, that sort of thing. And then we came along and they saw another opportunity to be able to add more value in your life without it costing them an arm and a leg, and also at the same time saving you from having to pay any credit repair fees and helping you avoid those scams. So again, I want to thank our automotive partners. Again, they see a problem, they're fixing it, they're extra special. Be loyal to them. I talk about that on some past episodes. They are making an investment in you. They saw something in you that they liked, and they said, hey, we recommend this product, we recommend this service, download this app. So by all means, try to be loyal to them, whether you've already completed a transaction with them or not. Just try to give them a shot, because they are a cut above the rest of the car dealers that are out there, because they actually demonstrated that they care. So show them some love. I would also appreciate it if you show me some love as well. So we're putting out this awesome product, and without our dealer partners and without your support in utilizing our service and utilizing the mobile app and telling the dealerships how valuable it is and what it's done for you, we wouldn't be able to exist. So what I mean by that is, I would really appreciate it if you would go subscribe to all of our social media channels. You're not going to get pestered, but if I put out new content on Facebook, or if I put out new content on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter, you might receive a notification if you have notifications turned on. And that's phenomenal, because it means that you're keeping current, you're keeping abreast of what's going on right now, because there can be a lot of changes, not only with our app, but also within the credit repair and credit industries. And also we break like the latest news about data breaches and what you can do about that. So please subscribe to all of our social media channels. Also like, rate, review our app, share the app with everybody you know. Tap those three hamburger lines, the three horizontal lines in the top left corner of the mobile app, and go down to the third link where it says share. We give you a bunch of different ways that you can tell a friend about our mobile app and how awesome it is. And you can remain anonymous with some of those things too. So please, by all means, like, rate, review. We're getting a lot more downloads just in the last 48 hours. And I want to say thank you for your participation, because without that, and without other people who maybe haven't used the app or downloaded the app but haven't upgraded to our credit monitoring service, they're kind of sitting on the fence and they're looking at this and they're trying to figure out whether it's legit, whether it's a scam. And so please tap that share feature and tell a friend. And in return, I want to remind you that we are retaining statistics basically on who's participating, who's engaging, who's sharing, that sort of thing. And in the future, we're going to do some cool things. Like right here, I've got this little piece of merchandise, a little baseball stress reliever. I walk around with it most of the day, squeezing on it and tossing it around in the air. And I've got some ink pens, and pretty soon we'll have some t-shirts and hats and that sort of thing. So at some point in time, you'll be able to redeem those points so that you can redeem them for merchandise or maybe accessing special features. And it also elevates your status whenever you're participating in our credit forum, because pretty soon you'll be able to unlock badges that will indicate that you've got a little bit more experience, not only using the app, but also maybe with credit and credit scores and credit repair. And you might be qualified to help answer some questions if you're kind of becoming a student of the credit game. So let's jump on into avoiding scams. So there are some federal agencies that pay a lot of attention to things that go on out there. Sometimes things fly a little bit under the radar. Sometimes they're on their radar and they investigate for longer periods of time. Sometimes these services or individuals find different ways to kind of find a loophole to fly through. So I kind of want to remind you that we are trying to eliminate all of that behavior out there in the credit industry. It's not necessary to do the things that we're going to talk about today in order to get ahead. It's not necessary to do those things and pay for them or pay illegal upfront fees. It's not necessary to do that and to get fairly quick results. It's not necessary to flout the law to be able to do that. And the most beautiful part about it is that me and our awesome team of developers have put together a very unique, world-class, one-of-a-kind product that allows you to automate the entire process, remain anonymous, and not pay any credit repair fees and avoid those scams. So one of the biggest ones out there is that there are companies out there that will sell what's called a Tradeline. So in a previous episode, I reminded you that if you ever hear the word Tradeline, that is talking about a credit account. So like your account information that opened on such and such a date, creditor name or lender name, your account number, your high credit limit or your original loan balance, what your current balance is, your payment history, were you late 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, has it turned into a collection, a charge off, what's the status of the account, that sort of information, all of that is a trade line. So there are some services out there that will sell you a trade line, and on the surface of it, a lot of people don't pay attention to the fine print, but I'm just going to point out some things. So one of the things that I noticed whenever I went to look at this a long time ago, and it still remains to this very day, is that you're not buying that trade line eternally. So basically you're piggybacking on somebody else's credit as an authorized user on an account of a stranger that you paid and said, hey, I'm going to give you $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, maybe even $5,000 to piggyback on your accounts. And not only is that really unethical, but you could also get your credit damaged if they start to use that account. Sometimes those trade lines are actually stolen identity. And then the other thing that can exist is that if you're not reading the fine print, you might be paying an exorbitant fee just to have that inserted in your credit report for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And it gets really expensive the longer period of time that you want that to appear. So if you want it to appear for 3 months or 6 months, it's really, really pricey. And the really unethical thing about it is not just the fact that you're exchanging money with a service that's keeping a big cut of the fee for them finding strangers that are willing to let you piggyback on a credit card account for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. But if you also think about it, you're just tricking the next lender that you're going to apply for credit with, because you had that inserted for 30 days and then it just magically disappeared after you got approved for a credit card or a car loan or a mortgage. And I don't know about you, but that sounds like loan fraud. So There is a way that you can be added as an authorized user to an account that's much more ethical, that shouldn't cost you anything, not unless you've got a relative that has a, I don't know, bad intent, or maybe you owe them some money or something that they just want to turn around and charge you to be able to do the same thing. But by being added as an authorized user to a relative's credit card information, specifically like a parent, so like if you're 20-something years old, or you're a teenager, or I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50, but if your parents wanting to add you as a authorized user on their credit card account, there's really nothing wrong with that. And that's where the practice first came about, is that credit card companies realized that sometimes that's needed, and so they would allow you to do that. Some of the credit card companies now will still run a inquiry on the person that wants to become an authorized user, and they might reject you as an authorized user. You also need to be aware of one of the pitfalls of becoming an authorized user, ethically or not, is that if that person decides to go out there and start charging up a higher balance on that credit card, well, now it's using more of the card's limit, which can actually lower your credit scores. So you need to keep that in mind. And also remember, in yesterday's episode or the day before, I was talking about soft inquiries. Some of these credit card vendors are doing soft inquiries, or if there's card inactivity, they might cancel or close that account. And again, if they close or cancel that account, that's not helping you. So there are a couple ways that you could do the authorized user thing a little bit cleaner. You also need to be aware that some types of transactions will force you to close your authorized user accounts before they will allow you to apply for credit. One of those is a mortgage loan. So that's the most predominant one. So it used to be up until several years ago that they didn't do that. But then the mortgage lenders decided, they understood that, hey, there was this game to credit scores, and that one of those ways that people were gaming credit scores was by temporarily adding themselves as an authorized user and then getting removed from accounts, either pay for play or through relatives. So either way now, they'll just force you to be removed from that credit card account before you apply for the mortgage loan. It's not that way whenever you apply for an auto loan currently. At least it is my understanding with most lenders that they don't do that. So I don't think that you'll have a problem in that area. But again, even if it isn't a problem, definitely don't go the paid route. Don't go the pay to have a Tradeline added on your credit report, because you also need to be aware, with just a little bit of Google research, I mean, probably like one search, you can find out recently where the FTC has come along and either fined and or shut down some Tradeline vendors. And there's one individual, I'm not going to say his name, but he has videos that he'll put on YouTube that get a couple 100,000 views. And if you go to the website that he's had on those videos in the past, it actually pops up a big message that they have decided to stop selling trade lines. It does not mention the FTC. It does not mention, which is the Federal Trade Commission. It does not mention the CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It doesn't mention either of those two agencies. But I believe that behind the scenes that might be what caused that to happen. And I don't know whether that caused that directly with them, or they just saw it happen to somebody else in the industry and just decided to try to disassociate with themselves with that practice as quickly as possible. So again, there's a better way to handle that. So avoid that first scam. Do not buy authorized user trade lines. There's a better way. The second thing are credit privacy numbers. They're also referred to as CPN. So credit privacy numbers. And there are a lot of people that will tell you that, hey, you're entitled, you can go get a credit privacy number. And you know, the best lies always have just a tiny little tad of truth to them. And it's true. There is a thing called a credit privacy number, and you can go get a credit privacy number. You get that from the Social Security Administration. However, I'm going to tell you that the credit privacy numbers that you will buy are usually a combination of being linked to people who are dead and you're just reusing their Social Security number, or minors that are below the age of 18 that don't know that their Social Security number has been sold because they've never been old enough to apply for credit, to get denied credit, to hear anybody say, hey, you've got a bunch of bad credit. They also had a need to have a credit monitoring account to alert them, to let them know that their identity is being used. And by the way, that's also, again, just segueing back into why you need to upgrade to our credit monitoring service in our app, not only to automate your credit improvement process, but also just to automate your credit dispute process. That's probably better words. So automate your credit dispute or credit challenge process. But it's also an important way for you to be able to be notified instantly if you have a new credit inquiry that appears in your credit report. So again, they're often linked to dead people, often linked to minors, and they're also kind of sometimes not always just the full Social Security number from a deceased person or from a minor or from somebody who's alive. Sometimes they are creating credit privacy numbers that are a version of what's called synthetic identity theft, where they merge identities. And those credit privacy numbers can get you in a lot of big trouble, especially if you use them in place of a Social Security number on a credit application. Do not do that. Do not do that, because if you do that and it's discovered, it is straight to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. And I don't know if anybody knows what I'm referring to anymore whenever I say that, because I'm not for sure that everybody's up on Monopoly anymore nowadays. But I will tell you that that is a federal offense. If it asks for a Social Security number, either leave it blank or put your Social Security number there. Do not fake a Social Security number with a credit privacy number, or you just pulling in one from out of thin air. Do not do that. So it's a big scam that, again, those federal agencies watch, that law enforcement watches, that the FBI and CIA and all those other acronyms are constantly watching as they're looking for loan fraud. Loan fraud carries very severe penalties, so do not dip your toes in that water. That kind of goes hand in hand, again, along with the authorized user Tradelines, and why that's a bad thing, because it's a version of loan fraud. Again, it's a little bit different because the credit card industry gave the ability for family members to be able to add another family member as an authorized user. And anymore now, that's pretty much only allowing a family member that lives at the same address oftentimes. I don't know that that's 100% always the case now, but you need to be aware of that. So again, being added as an authorized user is not a bad thing. Just don't go pay to be added onto a stranger's card or buying a credit privacy number or faking your Social Security number. The other scam that I would tell you to avoid are upfront credit repair fees. I don't know if it'll shock you or not. Probably not in today's day and age. There isn't too much that shocks us. But there are a lot of credit repair forums. There are credit repair software companies that encourage people to download their software to use to become a credit repair company. And they do some good things. They educate people that, hey, you need a merchant account so you can get credit cards. They educate people that you need to get licensed and bonded, and that you need to get some education, that sort of thing. But what I totally disagree with is the fact that almost every day or every other day, no later than every third day, virtually all of these forums will end up having some derivative of somebody putting something on there that, like, hey guys, what do you think about this ad that I'm running that's asking for $495 up front, and I'm providing you with a year of credit repair, and I'm providing you with this, and providing you with this, and providing you with this. That is an illegal upfront fee, and it really disappoints me that nobody in the credit repair industry will ever say anything about it, because they get persecuted when they do. But the company that sells the software that created the Facebook group, in my opinion, has it plays a very important role, that they should put the smackdown on that every single time that they see it, and they should turn around and re-educate people that is not permitted. And what are you thinking? They should not be doing that, because it gives the entire industry a bad name, and it actually makes you, if you're not using the app and you haven't upgraded a credit monitoring yet, you're like, how are you any different? And I'm telling you how I'm not different is we prepared this so you get to control it. We prepared it so it's anonymous. We prepared it so it's totally secure. And we prepared it so that you're not paying any credit repair fees. We want to change everything for you. This is my passion. This is my why. You're my why. I cannot stand credit repair organizations and credit repair software companies not doing something about policing this much, much better. And I hope that they see this message. I hope that the credit agencies see this and see that we're different. I hope that they see that we're trying to fix that problem that's out there, because it's ridiculous. It really shouldn't exist. And the fact of the matter is that oftentimes the people behind those ads, you pay them the money and they disappear, or they provide you with 1 month's worth of service. They're not following through. They're not continuing to work for you. They don't have hardly any experience. I'm amazed at how many people. I saw another screenshot from somebody today bragging in this credit repair group how he is sitting on like $55,000 a month in recurring revenue right now, and he got out of prison 2 years ago. Out of prison 2 years ago. And just because he's got a little bit of credit knowledge and he's got access to software, it's great that the guy's doing well. I don't have a problem with that at all. And I hope that everything that he or the women or anybody else that makes those posts in those credit repair groups, I hope they provide you with awesome services. But I also hope that you see through all that and that you're not paying people to do what you can do, that you have federal rights to do, but you just didn't have the know-how to do. Or that you have just been struggling and trying to use Credit Karma or whatever. Because I'm going to tell you, the most popular complaint across the internet throughout time has been that somebody took my money and never provided services. Somebody took my money, I never got the first response from the credit agencies. Somebody took my money and they quit answering my phone calls. Somebody took my money and I went down to their office and they never even were at that office, or their office is closed, or whatever it is. So you need to keep in mind that there are scams that are out there, and the three most popular, at least in my opinion, are don't buy Tradelines, don't buy CPNs. You should know, you should have like red alerts and alarms and bells and whistles or whatever going off that are telling you run away. Don't do that. Don't pay somebody hundreds or thousands of dollars up front. In fact, I got to tell you that you also just have to be cautious. Just because somebody has a fancy certification, or they can say that, hey, I've got this education, or I'm a member of a group, okay, you need to be aware of this. And I'm just calling somebody out. They might watch it. BFD. I'm going to tell you right now that a person that is so far up the rear end of a watchdog group over the credit industry, okay, that's very well known, attends a lot of conventions, back of the room, very well respected, elderly, carries a lot of weight, she's been around for a long time, actually has tried to charge people and recommended that they buy a Tradeline for $5,000. And in my opinion, if that's coming from a credit repair organization or a credit repair professional, you can bet your bottom line that if I'm the FTC or I'm an attorney general, I'm going to say that you're collecting an upfront fee when you have not provided any successful services. You're not just selling a Tradeline, okay? So I'm just calling everybody out right now that if you see those things, you're an app user or you're somebody that's considering using our app, run away as fast as possible, and tell everybody you know to stay away. Guide them to where they need to be, either doing it yourself or utilizing our app to help you do it. There are other services out there that don't charge an upfront fee. There are people out there that disagree with Tradelines. There are people that disagree with CPNs. There are people that don't collect upfront payments. So not everybody in that industry is bad, but it is getting to be the exception and not the rule. It's absolutely ludicrous to go into those groups and see experience of less than 2 or 3 years and charging upfront fees, or trying to string you along and charge monthly fees for 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. And the only monthly fee that you'll ever pay here is just for your credit monitoring service. And you get access to the app at no additional charge. You get access to education, tips, live streams at no additional charge. And credit monitoring is something that you need anymore. The credit agencies are selling credit monitoring. And instead of you getting all three of theirs individually, you can just get them all rolled into one as a tri-merge or 3-bureau credit monitoring report and have it analyzed by the app. And then you get to control whether or not you approve, edit, deny, or recreate your letters every 30 days. Okay, so that's completely up to you. It's also completely up to you if you also mail those letters. They're electronically delivered to the credit agencies, but you can also mail them. You can also mail letters to creditors. And we're constantly making improvements, so some of those things may become available to you in the very near future where we automate those things. So in the wrap up, I think I might have gone a little bit further than I normally go as far as time. So I hope that you didn't mind that. We're changing the game, folks. We are completely changing the game. We want the credit agencies to know that we get it and that we're on their side. We want to make sure that they know that we're on our side or we're on their side as far as we understand what the credit repair industry has been like for years and sometimes still is. But we're also not on their side whenever it comes to some of the games that they play as far as like stall tactics. We're not on their side whenever it comes to like the way certain credit laws exist, which we'll cover in future episodes. And so if you want to learn a little bit more about the credit score game, you should download my book from Amazon. You can go buy the book from Amazon. It's available to you in paperback. It's also available via Kindle, or you don't have to pay for it. All you need to do is just upgrade to our credit monitoring. And when you upgrade to the credit monitoring, you get access to my book, The Credit Score Game. It's Not Your Fault is the subtitle. So The Credit Score Game, It's Not Your Fault by me. And it really pulls back the curtain on the history of credit reporting, how it's evolved, the way it is now, a lot about the credit score game and the credit score industry. In the very near future, we will be coming to you with recipes. So if your credit file looks like this is your recipe for quicker results. So guys, again, I know that I've been going on a little bit too long. Shout out again to our automotive dealer partners. I had somebody ask me a couple days ago, and I forgot to bring it up on a live stream. They asked me if I actually wore pants on the live stream, and I'm going to lay back here and I'm going to tell you, you see that right there, my big old yellow socks? I have pants on, folks. So anyway, I appreciate you hanging in here with me, and we'll catch up again on another great topic sometime tomorrow. Again, show us some love, show our automotive dealer partners some love. Subscribe to all our social media, rate us, review our app, share us, tell friends about us, help us make this go viral. Thanks again, and I'll